There are 10,000 taels of gold. Once the washing machine in front starts up, it can produce nearly 100 grams of gold every hour. Parker's washing machine, which ran only 40 hours last week, yielded a harvest of 3.9 kilograms of gold. This has filled the gold miners with confidence for this year's gold prospecting. However, Parker's annual goal of 93 kilograms seems a bit modest. In order to increase profits, Parker has already reduced the number of personnel by 1/3 from last year. With a stable gold output, he wants to expand his net profit. Now he's here to find Rick. He wants to take Rick to see his new discovery. Due to limited personnel, Parker has been thinking of ways to improve the efficiency of truck transport. A few days ago, he met someone at a nearby mine. His mine has only 3 people, but they managed to keep the mine running smoothly. This is all thanks to their self-design, new type of conveyor belt. And now, he's going to see Horace, the designer of the conveyor belt in his mine. There are no trucks coming and going in his mine, and most of the work is done by the conveyor belt alone. This machine consists of an excavator below, as well as a conveyor belt and hopper. This machine can transport 500 yards of soil per hour. It only requires one operator, continuously feeding the soil into the hopper to transport the soil to a height of 36 meters. When it needs to move, it only requires driving the excavator to change its position. The fuel cost of this mobile conveyor belt is only 1/3 of Parker's excavation and transportation truck fleet. Most importantly, it can save a lot of manpower. Parker is eager to build such a mobile conveyor belt. Horace says that if he can provide a 700 type excavator, he can even build a mobile conveyor belt with a transport height of 45 meters. Convert to 700 type excavator. Horace needs 5 weeks for this modification. This tool that can change the efficiency of the mine is something Parker cannot miss. After that, Parker went to McKinley, and Todd was dismantling the Red Monster for relocation. At this moment, besides moving the Red Monster, then the two began to negotiate with each other. When Todd heard that Todd's annual goal for this year is 155 kilograms, Parker couldn't help but marvel at Todd's courage. And when Parker told Todd that his goal for this year is 93 kilograms, Todd couldn't help but mock. Last year's king of gold mining in Klondike seems to be setting smaller goals. After going back, taunts from his subordinates who lost to him made it unbearable for Parker. Now he is going to Tony Beat's residence. He wants to try negotiating for lower rent one more time. But in the past 2 years, every time Parker negotiated with Tony, it almost always ended in failure. Now he comes here under the pretext of paying rent, and in the process of communicating with Tony, Tony once again states that Parker must pay rent according to the contracted ratio. After paying lower rent, Parker can no longer bear it. He directly tells Tony that this year he will dig 93 kilograms. He'll bury himself in the mine for a single moment more. As Parker leaves, the two once again reach an impasse, but Tony's wife and Tony start arguing. He thinks they can be more lenient. After all, Parker harvested 100 kilograms last year. 93 kilograms is a simple task for him. If they can make Parker continue to work, continue to dig, then Tony might harvest an extra 8 or 9 kilograms of gold this year. Under the sharp gaze of his wife, Tony compromises once again. So much land, you can't dig it all. Tony has to negotiate with Parker again about Scribner Creek's contract. Inconvenient. Parker can dig on his other land and calculate the gold harvested. Parker is willing to accept. When this week's work is over, Parker has already separated all the gold. All the gold for this week is poured onto the scale. Soon they confirmed this week's yield. A total of 4.5 kilograms of gold. The 3rd week of the gold panning journey began. Achieving such a harvest, the team members were overjoyed. At this point, Parker also informed the team about the most concerning annual goal. Thanks to Tony Beat's implicit compromise, Parker's annual goal for this year is tentatively set at 124 kilograms of gold. Parker selected another mining site in the Indian River area. They will split into 2 groups. Rick will lead an old-style wash plant to conduct gold panning in the Indian River area. The gold extracted from each side will pay the respective landowners 15% each, based on their techniques.